Hey, so the following is my presentation from Elite Mastermind Dubai, where we brought in 230 e-commerce entrepreneurs doing 7, 8, and 9 figures into one room. We had a lot of free time together. We exchanged insights, we exchanged processes and systems that powering our businesses. And if you want to join one of our next events, just join the waiting list. It should be in the description. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in person soon. So with that being said, let's get into the presentation. Many new faces, which I love. You know, it's we've been doing community building. We had our community for the last few years, and this is by far the biggest influx of new faces, new people, talented, legendary entrepreneurs. So give guys round of applause for everyone who came here. And as we were having conversations with you guys yesterday, I was asking how's your business? What do you do? What do you sell? It's obviously health and wellness in Germany for the big part. But many of you guys are doing something totally different and doing some insane numbers. And, one thing that I've realized from having all these conversations is that there is two main reasons why your business is not growing as fast or as profitably as you want it to be. Because majority of you are advertising on Facebook, but at the same time, you're not testing enough creatives, and also you don't have high enough win rate on your creatives, which means you don't have enough banger ads. Banger ads are the ads that you can spend $100,000 on, $1 million on, and majority of you don't have enough of those banger ads. You ever had a banger ad, like winning ad that you've been running for a long time, right? Those ads can pretty much hold you for weeks, for months, sometimes for years. And you can build the whole business around it. And that's literally what I want to show you, how to produce more of these banger ads. I'll show you what we do. I'll show you the process that we have for building the team structures. So whether you're just just starting out, at 7 figures, in our community, it's 7 figures, it's low numbers, right? Or you guys are already killing it and doing 9 figures. I'll share stuff that's applicable to all of you. So, imagine, this is how, from my perspective, how many of you guys are approaching creatives. Imagine you're millions of years ago, you are cavemen, and you live in a cave, and your winter is coming, so it's getting cold. So you want to make a fire so you won't freeze, and also you cook some food for yourself. So you kind of okay, I need to make a fire, and you're trying to random things, putting things together, and by pure accident, by luck, you just take 2 stones, hit them to each other, you make a spark, that spark turns into a fire, and now you have fire. But the problem is, you got there by luck. And many of you guys just have this hidden hope strategies, throwing shit against the wall and hopefully something sticks. What I want to show you instead is a proven process that works on creating more banger winning ads for your business. And I want to share with you the story with, about the person. The person's called Ecom Timmy. You might resonate with this. I definitely resonate with the story. So Ecom Timmy runs ads, and so he runs ads. First day he launches ad gets 3.2 return on ad spend. So Timmy is very happy. He's I found my next banger, my next winning ad. And, he keeps the ads running. He's already imagining he'll be a millionaire. Next day, the ROAS drops to 2.1 return on ad spend. So it's kind of a little bit lower, but it's still okay, it's still profitable. Next day, ROAS drops to 1.4, right? So Timmy's not the best, breaking even at this point. But he keeps running. Facebook needs more data. Facebook, you need 50 conversions per week. Probably Pixel needs to season. So he keeps running that ad. Next day, it goes to 0.9. So Timmy is not very happy at all. And he still keeps it running, he's patient entrepreneur. Next day it goes to 0.3. And that's it, disaster, right? So he shuts it down, moves on, right? Back to the drawing board. So the biggest question is, why does this happen? By the way, you guys resonate with this? Anyone had this happen to them? Yeah? Yeah, and those of you who didn't raise your hands, I know it happened, you just... So it happens to all of us, right? And it's totally normal. But the biggest question is why does this happen? Maybe because you are. I have a few things. Maybe, is it because you haven't like, used like some special targeting option on your ad account, or you haven't used like ABO, CBO, cost caps, bid caps, any of those like advanced like settings? Or is it because like you didn't wake up at 3 a.m. and like optimize your ads, right? Because that's what you need to do to make your ads perform better. And the truth is a lot simpler, but it's also harsh. And the truth is, your creatives suck. And, in fact, they suck so bad that, the reason you had your first profitable day is because you got this gift from Uncle Zach himself, which is called pity traffic. So pity traffic is where, algorithm and Zach, they're evaluating the advertiser, your creatives, and they're kind of looking at it. It's like, these ads are not that good. Like, they kind of suck. But, I don't want that advertiser to just like leave, right? I want that advertiser to keep spending money on Facebook. So I'll give them like a little gift the first day. So I'll give them like few conversions. I'll show it to people who are most likely to buy, but that's all I can do. Like, now I want you to face the reality, and the reality is like your creatives are not as good as you think. And it happens all the time, especially as you start exposing your ads to colder and colder audiences as you scale. Like, now your ads need to have a lot of selling power in order to get like total stranger to buy your products. And you might be thinking, Alex, but I have good creatives. My girlfriend likes them, my boyfriend likes them, my parents like them, my friends like it. Everyone likes my creatives, and I spend 2 weeks making them. I even edit them myself in Adobe Premiere. And, I can tell you how good your creatives are with just one single metric. That metric is win rate. Now, who here knows what their win rate is down to the digit? Raise your hand, please. So only a few people, right? And Autopia, of course. Win rate. And who here doesn't know what win rate like at all? All right, who's in the middle? Okay. So what's a win rate? Win rate is number of winning ads divided of number of ads that you tested, including variations. And the winning ad is the one that spends above $1,000 at a KPI, which is your break-even ROAS plus profit margin, and has scalable metrics. So something that has good metrics, soft metrics, also has good profitability that you can scale, right? This is the win ad. And these are some like benchmarks. If you're below 10%, once you like look into your ad account, you don't have to do it right now, and you start making these calculations. If you're below 10%, which means like for every 10 ads that you're testing, only one of them is profitable, which means you have to spend money on testing another 9 ads that will not perform. It's pretty bad. There's a lot of work to be done, and that's exactly what I'll share with you in a few minutes. If you're between 10 to 24%, it's average. If you're great, like 25 to 35%, if you're like 35% plus win rate, it's phenomenal. We have some people here in the audience that have that win rate. You're gut level advertiser, and at this point you might be just like not testing enough, right? That's why your win rate is so, but you're in a great position to just explode and scale. So how do you increase the win rate? The only way to increase win rate is to test more. Like, simple as that. But also, it's not just like randomly, throwing stuff against the wall and hoping it sticks, but testing smarter. I want to show you exactly how to do that. And also, you don't want to do this reactively. Who've ever had winning ad, it performs well, and then like at some point it just dies, and you're like, what do I do? Like, I've had it happen so many times to me, and now you start like randomly, testing new ads, like trying to recover the performance. And if you think about the most like highest growth brands, like the most successful brands we all follow, we look at their ads, we're trying to model them. Like, do you think these companies are reactive or they're proactive? Proactive, right? Like whether it's good months, it's bad months, they're still testing, right? So these are some of the very successful brands. 9-figure brand Better Me, about $15 million a month. On a bad month, which is December, they're selling weight loss products. Who thinks about weight loss in December? Like, no one, right? Like, it's horrible months, but still they tested 874 ads. Who here tests like more than 874 ads on their best months. Only a few people, obviously, around Europe. But it's kind of like just to give you perspective. So if you want to win, if you want to dominate, if you want to scale, and this is what these companies, this is right in front of our eyes. Like this is what they're doing. It's all transparent, like literally. Like this is what we have to do as well. And on the good months, they're testing 2,000 ads, which is good volume of ads. If you divide it by day, it's about 60 ads per day, 60 ads per day, 60 ads per day that are being launched. Rice Superfoods. Who knows Rice Superfoods? Right, quite a few people. They have amazing ads. On a bad months, 4,200 ads, which is over like 100 ads per day. On a good months, 6,800, which is, yeah, it's massive volume, 200 ads every day. So another brand here, True Classic. So it's an apparel brand from the United States. February, pretty slow months, only 1,100 ads. On a good months, 2,000 ads. So it's applicable whether it's apparel, whether it's gadgets, whether it's health and beauty in Germany. Still the same process applies. So the reason they scaled so fast is because they know that creative is king. And you ever wondered like how is it that two e-commerce brands can sell exactly the same products, even using the same funnels? Because we see what everyone is doing, right? Like we're copying, we're modeling, like that's what everyone does, right? We're all learning from each other. So they do all of that, like pretty much the same, yet they get totally different results. Sharks, these are the fastest growing brands. They're just absolutely smashing it. They're doing, 8 figures, 9 figures. And then there's bottom feeders, right? So bottom feeders, kind of like 7 figures, low 7 figures, middle 7 figures. So what do you think makes a difference? Well, I mean, sharks, they play the pro game. They just approach it as professionals. And bottom feeders, they play the amateur game. They kind of just like, it's part of the business. Let's put some random like video editors there. Let them figure it out. Sharks, they just like take it very seriously, very professionally. And so raise your hand if you commit today to becoming an ecom shark. I just made it up, but I like the name. So ecom sharks here. So let's see the math to become that ecom shark. So if you want to do, let's say, low 7 figures, and many of you guys, I mean, that's probably the lowest kind of level in this room. It's like 120K per month, about $4,000 per day in sales. You only need 4 ads. If those 4 ads can generate at least $1,000 a day in sales, you only need 4 ads. If you want to do like 1 million a month, $35,000 a day in sales, 35 ads with $1,000 a day in sales on average. Not a lot, right? If you start thinking about it, like only 35 ads. Now, you might have some winners that you can spend like, $5, $10, $20,000 a day on. These are like bangers. But, on average, let's say $1,000 a day. And then $10 million a month, $350,000 a day. That's 350 ads with $1,000 a day in sales generated. So once you start reverse engineering the math, it's like, okay, it's actually more doable than I thought. Like, it's actually achievable, right? Maybe I'm like 10, 20% there to where I want to be, right? I just need to take this game more seriously. And a 10% win rate, to get to 4 winning ads, you only need to test 40 ads. To get to 35 winning ads and get to 1 million a month, 350. 3,500, which is good volume, a lot of ads, to get to 350 winning ads. And so the only thing standing between your business right now and your next level, like JP mentioned, the next 12 months, is just more banger ads. And the same way these companies, they blew up with one creative. These companies, like True Classic, went from 0 to $250 million a year. I mean, this is not just one of their ads. They had many more, but this is one of the, their banger ads, did like 35 million views. Dollar Shave Club, they just exploded with this one ad. A few years later, they've been acquired for $1 billion. So they just exploded with one creative. So you're only one creative away. You're only one of those like bangers away. So the reason I know this is because like in our own business, this is one of our stores, went from 156,000 to over $1 million per month in sales. And it all started with one creative. And I'll show you what we did there. I'll show you in a second. I think you'll like it. It's very easy to do. And after seeing hundreds of e-commerce businesses scale, it comes down to two things. Maximizing win rate, which is the quality of your creatives, and just getting as many of those winners as possible, maximizing the win rate of those. And then increasing the volume of creatives tested, which will come down to your creative team, which I'll talk about in a minute as well. How to build the actual team who will put all of this together and will start pumping out these creatives for you. So again, win rate and volume, right? So if we meet throughout the event and ask you, well, what do you do? Win rate and volume, win rate and volume, win rate and volume, win rate and volume, win rate and volume. Two things. So let's start with increasing your win rate. So in order to increase win rate, we must use 80-20 principle. 80-20 principle states that, for everything that in life, 80% of effort will get you only 20% of the results, and 20% of efforts will give you 80% of the results. So, and this is how most people waste time and money with Facebook, right? So they would do 20% of their ad spend, of their effort on variation testing. So they would test different hooks, they would test different scroll stoppers, different actors, different voiceovers, different B-roll, and then they would try testing totally different things. They would try testing new angles. They would try testing like new formats, and just kind of like throwing stuff against the wall and hoping it sticks, which means they're overspending on testing, which means their profit margins are not that high, so they cannot reinvest that profit into scaling their business. And, it might feel like a rat race. You're kind of like testing. It's like, Alex, I've tested 300 creatives last month. Like, how many actually performs? Like, only one. Well, maybe something wrong about your process. Instead, you need to do this. 80% variation testing. After having conversations with, brand owners, creative agencies that work with 9-figure brands, it's all about variations. Once you find something that works, you just double down on creating variations, like different hooks, different scroll stoppers, different actors, different voiceover, different B-roll, like even the same script, same everything, just like different B-roll, and 20% on more like a macro testing, like new concepts, new angles, new things that can potentially open up a new market for you, but you maximizing the profitability with something that's already proven to work. So the way, we did it in our business, so $156,000 a month to $1 million a month is we just turned one winning ad into 10 variations of winning ad. Like, so we took one ad, right? So she spent like 800,000, decent ROAS, and we took that ad and we created variations of it. And different variations, we were able to spend another $600,000 profitably, but using that initial ad as a foundation. So what are the most impactful variations of the ads to create new winners? So this is just breakdown of different things that you can plug into your ads to create these variations. Number one is a hook, right? So these three ads you can see on the bottom, they're completely the same. Right? The only thing that's different is the first 3 seconds. In the first one, there's a person talking to the camera, there's caption on screen. Second one, there is a person also talking to the camera, but there's like a piece of like steak, like just hanging out, right, out of like nowhere. And the third one is completely different. There's no face whatsoever. There is just steak, right? So, okay, if you think about the mindset here, right? If you're hungry and you're scrolling Facebook, like, you might not like this guy, right? But you might like the steak, right? You're just like, this steak looks good. What is this? What is it about? And so now, like, you're appealing to different portions and segments of your market, and that's how you scale. So the most successful brands, if you look at Rise ads, they have all of these different like segments, right? They go after different pain points. They go after different symptoms. So like they're like, okay, a little bit here, like let's say, they can spend $10,000 on this, $10,000 on this, $10,000 on this, $10,000 on this. And so now they're stacking all of these different angles, and they saturating their market. That's how they're able to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars per day on ads. And so hook variations could be captions on screen, like you see on all three of these. Could be visuals, just different B-roll at the beginning. Could be sound. And even sound could be 3 different ways. Could be AI, could be human voiceover, or could be music, right? And all of these can make like a big difference. Like if you just test it out, you already have your winning ad, just creating variations of those to just expose it to more people and target more segments of your market. So that's number one. Number two is an offer. And offer is one of those things that like I would recommend testing like at least once a month. Like once a month, you need to test like a new offer of your products. Like even if you have offer that works, you still test a new offer. And offer is not just like, hey, 40% off today. Like this is like what most entrepreneurs do. I ask, what's your offer? Oh, it's like 50% off today only. Only. Like there's no way you can buy it tomorrow. And then obviously tomorrow doesn't change. Could be buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. If you're selling a single product, it could be a bundle of products. If you're selling, let's say, serum, it could be cleanser, serum, moisturizer. It also could be payment options. Like this works very well in US, probably in Europe as well. 4 interest-free payments of $49. Get 2 products and get a free luxury travel bag. Buy 2, get a free UV lamp. Every purchase donates 10 meals to families in need. So you're kind of like stacking all of these benefits of your product to increase the perceived value, to make it no-brainer, to make it like, hey, this is so good. Wow, this is like just, it would be stupid not to buy. And so these are some of the fast-growing brands like Primal Queen. They've scaled from $100,000 a month to like $5 million in 1 year. And, you can see the offer stack, right? They're giving like free bamboo lid glass jar. They're giving the free on-the-go pill case, free mystery gift, free shipping, like stacking all of this together, pushing people to subscription offer, which is what they want people to buy instead of buying the just one-time purchase. Rice, offering the free mash magnet, free spoon and scoop. So you're stacking all of these little things. They cost like just like few cents, right? They might cost few cents, but they have higher perceived value. And you're like, hey, I'm not just selling the product. Because in our business, like, who here been to China? All right. I mean, you guys been to China. You can source anything in China. Product is not like a competitive edge, right? I mean, you are like, and in this room, you're like one conversation away from sourcing any product you want. We have amazing people here on the sourcing, on the logistics, on the supply chain side. This is not a competitive advantage. And in business, it's all about competitive advantage. So, and creatives and marketing is your competitive advantage. Unless you have super unique product and you spend millions of dollars developing it and you have a patent and it's super protected and it's like no one can touch it. But it's very hard to do. It's very high barrier of entry. So, so this is offers, right? So offers you integrate into your landing pages, integrate into your creatives, and that will help you to create more winners from your ads. Chunk swaps is when you're watching the average watch time of your ads. Let's say average watch time is like 9 seconds. And you see like, okay, so it's like 9 seconds, something drops. Maybe it's like people watching your ad and then at some point, it's like, why they're dropping? Maybe the piece of B-roll you have there, piece of content you have there is not super engaging. So what do? You just replace it, right? Make people watch for more. Let's say you extend that average watch time from like 9 seconds to 11 seconds. Now Facebook will like it. Facebook will give you better CPMs, better cost per click. Now, you're getting better traffic. You're getting more conversions as well. And, just allows you to scale. But it's all based on data, right? So you would review the data and make those decisions based on that. So animations here, you can see very dynamic changes like every few seconds, super important because the attention span is pretty low. Benefit bullets, where you list out all the benefits of your product, also very dynamic. Like for example, here, goes with everything, extremely comfortable. I always get compliments, always feel new, like every few seconds, bam, 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 bam. You just stack this like pretty much value stack, right? Like all of the features, all the benefits of your product and a very dynamic B-roll. New actor and B-roll, right? So this is when you're selling the product, different people will resonate with different actors, right? You might have older ones, you might have younger ones, you might have females, you might have males. And by just giving them, you can even give them like the same script, but different people, okay, I really like this person, what this person is talking about. So now, like, let's say even here, you have different actors. I might like this guy in the middle. I don't like this guy on the other side, so I might like from the guy in the middle. I won't buy from the other guy. But this is how you also get into those like smaller segments of the market, and that's how you gradually saturate the market and scale up your ads profitably. Guarantee. It's a very easy one. Just reverse engineer like the risk. Like every time the customer buys from you, they're taking a risk. They're paying you money. It's like, it's so painful to, but if you take that away, it's, hey, there's no risk. If you don't like it, that's cool. Like you get your money back, just take that risk away from them. That increases conversions dramatically. And then you also integrate it into your landing pages throughout the whole funnel. So that's how you do the variations and micro testing, right? Like just guiding your video editors, creating all these variations. Once you have something that's promising, just double down on it and spend a majority of effort on creating these variations. But eventually, even those ads will die. You have a winning ad, might run for months, might run for years sometimes, but eventually even those will die, the angle will get saturated, and you have to create something new. That's why on the side, we're always testing new concepts, new ideas, new formats. So you need to do the macro test for that. But you shouldn't do it the way most people do it. And you might recognize yourself here. This individual here is a copycat. And, now, truth to be told, we're all copycats. I'm a copycat, right? We're all learning from each other. We're all looking at each other's ads. Like, it's okay. It's totally cool, right? Like, oh, what this company is doing. Let's look at their ads. And that's how we learn. That's how we got into business, right? We model someone who's already done that before. We ripped them initially. And then over time, we got better. We started to innovate. But instead, if you want to become like just better advertiser, better entrepreneur, and become an e-com shark, you have to become this guy. Copycat top G. So what copycat G is, it's still copycats, right? But what these copycats do differently? Well, these are not copycats, right? Now, they still copied it, right? Like the format is borrowed from somewhere, but it's not borrowed from their direct competition. Like no one was selling, apparel this way, like with funny ads, right? Or maybe it's some very few companies. It's not like common knowledge. Like no one would like go out of their way to create these kind of ads. Or Dollar Shave Club also created an entertaining ad. It cost them $4,500 to make this ad. This ad on the right side. $4,500. This ad helped them to sell the company for $1 billion. That's why we're okay. If you guys spending $100,000 a month, $500,000 a month, $1 million a month on ads, how about allocating part of that ad spend instead of just like trying to force these mediocre ads into Facebook? Facebook, eat it. Like reinvesting that back into creative. So that will give you just like exponential growth, exponential returns. And your best ads are not going to be from your competitors. It's like, who here ever replicated or modeled neuro ads? Raise your hand. Right. Yeah, it's half of the room, and it's like, I know, it's like other guys who didn't raise their hands, you did it too. So it's like we're all kind of like ripping each other, right? And but it's like your best ads won't come from that. Your best ads would come from like, hey, look, let's say you're selling like a health and beauty product. You're looking into pet niche. You're looking into apparel niche. You're looking into like other niches that like totally different from yours, but they have some interesting concepts and interesting ideas. Even looking at TikTok. TikTok is an amazing inspiration. TikTok is an amazing inspiration for new concepts and new ideas. And on Get Hooked here, if you guys are using it, we have brand spy. So we have tens of thousands of brands. We have the data on how many active ads they currently have. So we can see like, hey, oh, this company has like 500 active ads. What do they sell? Oh, they sell something totally different. Let's look into their ads and see what new formats or new angles or new ideas we can take from that. These are some of the ads from companies. Some of them are in our community, and you can see a different format. It's not typical dropshipping ad, right? It's more like TikTok-y. It's more entertaining. It's more dynamic. It's in a different environment. It's not like a studio or like standard UGC person looking and trying to kind of like promote the product. Totally different, right? So these are your micro tasks that, yes, some of them will not work out, but the ones that will work will help you to just like scale aggressively. And these would be your banger ads. So now can you see how we can put your win rate on your ads? Does it come together for you now? No? Yes? Awesome. So this is how you do it with win rate of your ads. And again, it's win rate and volume. So when it comes to volume, everything is about your team. And because there's only so much you can do by yourself. You can edit, if you are still editing your ads, you can edit 5 ads. Or if you have like one video editor, there's only so much they can edit. So if you want to ramp it up and test like big volume of creative so you can find more winners, you have to build an amazing team. And, I'll never forget, like a few years ago, I was, I was still like figuring out like how to build a team, how to lead, how to manage. And I had this one guy on my team, and he was a funnel builder, and he was pretty good. He was actually pretty good at what he does. He was responsive. He would get stuff, done on time, and he would work on weekends if necessary to do, what he had to do. But then, he would make some small mistakes here and there. He would do like a misspelling here, and he would do like a little like mistake here, and I would give him so much shit for it. I would jump on a Zoom call and it's like, you did this misspelling here. And at some point, like, I had one of the members of our community, actually, he asked me like, hey, I know you have this guy on the team. He's building funnels for you. And do you mind if, I get him on my team? And I'm like, sure. I mean, take him. He's a B player. Like, I mean, he's like, he's not having this high standard of work. He's making mistake. Yeah, take him. And he took that guy, the B player that I saw, right? And within like few months, that B player that I saw, he became like a proper A player, like top G. He started managing the team. He evolved his skills. He was learning. He was bringing new ideas. He was innovating. And 4 or 5 years later, he's still on his team. And I'm like, gee, okay. So it wasn't that the person was like B player. Maybe I was B player leader. And, that hurt my ego. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. And, started reflecting. And, at that point as well, like, it's just like a lot of personal stuff. I was overweight. I was like all over the place. Crypto, like, whoa, like, so not focused on my business. Not treating my team well. And, all of these things. And, I had to look myself in the mirror and just like have like a tough conversation, talk with mentors, hire coaches, like just fix that shit. Because the problem was me. The problem wasn't the people. And, I tried pushing people on my team to higher standards, but in reality, I wasn't living up to the standard. So how do you expect, like, it's a mirror. Like your company is a mirror of yourself. Like your whole environment, your whole circle is a reflection of yourself. So why would other people listen to you if you don't even listen to you? If you promise yourself, oh, I'll go to the gym, and you don't go to the gym. Harvey, I mean, that obviously doesn't apply to you. Harvey is jacked. Every time I see him, he's getting more jacked. But there's always these kind of promises that we make to ourselves. Oh, I really have to stop this behavior, right? Or this bad habit that I have. And, everyone has, no matter it's like if you are like, 7 figures or 9 figures, we all have that. But the beauty side is like, there's always levels to improve, and always new levels that we can level up to. And you can attract A-level talent if you're a C-level leader. There's no way. Even if you attract them, even if they get on your team, they're like, after a few months, they're like, I don't feel like I'm growing. I don't feel like this person can lead me to become a better version of myself, lead me to like evolve and become like a, top performer or explore new levels of performance. And quick exercise I want to do with you guys. This is just for you. This is private, but I want you to write down, like open your notebook, one of the pages. No one will look at it. It's totally private. What is one thing that I'm doing wrong, that I know I'm doing wrong, that I could fix? Like that one behavior, that one habit, that one thing that you're like, I know that that's not the best thing, but like I still do it. And like if I stop it, my whole life changes in other aspects, because also at the same time you prove to yourself that you can change. And that just has such a powerful, that will inspire you, that will motivate you, that will help you to become a totally new version of yourself. So I'll give you 1 minute, let's get it done. Yeah, this is just for you to reflect. And if you make that decision to change that behavior, it's like a domino effect, right? Like all other areas of your life will start change as well. And if you want to attract the best talent, you have to become a leader worthy of attracting and keeping the best talent. Again, it's one thing to attract them, amazing people. Another thing is to keep them for a long time and help them grow and help them fulfill their full potential. And if they fulfill their full potential, imagine what happens to your business, because that's your business that they'll be working on. So how do you become that leader? Great leaders operate on these principles. Number one is they're insanely growth-oriented in all areas of life. Leadership is not one-dimensional. Like, for example, you can be like a very successful financially, have very successful business, but then you're overweight. Maybe your relationships are not good, right? So it's like, if you're like, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And these high standards that you might have like in business, in your performance, the same high standards need to be reflected in other areas of life, like fitness, relationships, leadership, spiritual. So all areas of life need to evolve, and you need to constantly reinvent yourself if you want to grow your business. And also just like as a person, it's just such a fulfilling, you know, feeling to grow, right? And to become a better version of yourself and reflect to yourself like, oh, one year ago, I was this kind of person. Jeez, I don't know who that person is. So great leaders also care about their people and invest in their growth. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars yearly to develop skills. JP, how much you spent on personal development last year? Mark? How much? 150? You should have bought like a Lamborghini or something. No, he decided to invest in himself, even though he's savage, right? So even savages, they need to constantly evolve, right? It doesn't matter like what level you're at. That's why even for you guys like already very successful, there's always levels to the game. Number 3 is humility, getting feedback on how to be better leader from your team. You know, it's easy to give people feedback and shit for what they do, but how about people giving you feedback on how you can become a better leader from your team? Hey, Johnny, what do you think I can do better as a leader? And then you're like, oh, like now you're listening. Now you're like, you know, vulnerable. Now you're not just like always perfect. Now you're getting feedback, and from that feedback, you can become a better leader. Now, some of that feedback will be reasonable. Some of that will be unreasonable, right? But those few things that they'll tell you might have you to look in the mirror. It's like, okay, well, this is a bad behavior. I have to change it. Also, that applies to just like any interactions that we have with each other. You know, I had this conversation with one of the members of our community. He has very successful 9-figure business. And I asked him, like, why do you think, like, I mean, you've been in this space, you know, for quite some time. And there's some other people that started like literally at the same time as you. They had access to the same resources. And, you know, you got their business to 9 figures. You just evolved so much. And these other guys, you know, they're like still like doing $3 million a year. Like, why do you think that happened? He's like, he was thinking for a second and like, I just put my ego aside. It's like, he would have conversations with people, and it doesn't matter who he would have a conversation with. He might have a conversation with someone who's doing 7 figures, he's doing 9, but he would have his phone open with notes, and he would take notes, and he would learn from that person. He wouldn't like, hey, I'm so like high up, right, that person has nothing kind of like to add value to my life or my business. He would be open-minded, and that he would also try to help that person. So we have to put our ego aside if we want to grow, right? Because as we become more successful, it's very easy to get into that trap. It's like, wow, it's like everything I touch is like gold. And, you know, but that's how you grow. When you reflect, when you get feedback, when you look yourself in the mirror and becoming just, okay, there's levels of this game. Number 4 is extreme ownership for everything that happens in life and business, good and bad. When business is good, it's easy to take ownership. Yeah, you know, scale it up, doing very well. But when it's bad, like let's say someone on your team fucks up, like you have a media buyer, spends $20,000, like, I don't know, just like set a budget instead of like $500 a day, $50,000 a day on a bad creative. Spend 20 G's, gone. Like, whose fault is that? Right. I mean, partially that's like they fucked up, but why they fucked up is because you fucked up. Okay, like maybe that person wasn't the right person to hire in the first place. Maybe that person wasn't properly trained. Maybe there was no systems that prevent that stuff from happening. Like, there's so many other things that, you know, you could have done differently. But if you just like, hey, this is this person's fault, and oh, this is this fault, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, this is wrong. It's like kind of like this negative thinking. It just leads you to this path of like, oh, you know, it's always everyone else's fault, but not mine. But if you think this way, there's no way to level up for yourself and for you to become a better person. So now the good thing is, with all of this, I know there's like many things that you can reflect on and become better, but the good thing is you guys are already top 1% of the world. If you think about it, compare yourself with like 8 billion, how many people know? 7, 8? I don't know how many billion, but quite a few billion. You guys are top 1% in terms of income, in terms of freedom, in terms of lifestyle. You guys are special already. But it would take that extra level of commitment to become a world-class leader, because that's how you grow a very successful business and you keep it that way. Successful businesses are not grown by accident. Like, you can get business to $100 million, but if you're not the person capable of managing and growing a 9-figure business, the business will collapse. I've seen it so many times. So, and that's why over the next 2 days, you're going to be challenged. You're going to be challenged by our team. You're going to be challenged by me sometimes. And you can challenge me too. You can ask me hard questions. And, we all came here to challenge and to become better people. That's why we came here. Like, why else we would come here? Like, if we close ourselves and we're not allowing ourselves to become better. So, raise your hand if you're committed to leveling up. Let's fucking go. All right, so now let's get into some tactical stuff. So the key when you're building teams is to have the right structure for your level of skill. I want to tell you the story about Ecom Chat. So this real person lives in Miami. Maybe that's kind of, Miami makes people behave in weird ways. But, Ecom Chat, he's doing pretty well. He's doing $500K a month in the revenue. Pretty decent business, like mid 7 figures. Is good or bad? $500K a month? Yeah? All right. But Ecom Chat has 80 people on his team. 80. With e-commerce business, which is a lot. Is that a lot or not a lot? A lot, right? 80 people, which means, everything's messed up. The communication in the team, like who reports to who? KPIs, there's no KPIs. Like, should I report to this person, that person? Who's in charge? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So, total mess. As a result, the overhead is high, the complexity is high, things are not getting done on time, and as a result, Ecom Chat is operating on 3% profit margins. Now, is it good or bad? Right? We started with good, no? Like $500K a month. So, but that's what happens if you overhire drastically and not focusing on the quality of people, but the quantity of people. So, lean is low when it comes to building teams. So, there's certain lean team commandments that I see all the successful businesses follow. Number 1, quality beats quantity. It's better to have 5 absolute killers on your team than having 25 just people that have no idea what they're doing. Quality always beats quantity. Number 2, you want to have more brain workers than routine workers. So brain workers are the people that can innovate, that can bring ideas, that can take ownership for tasks, that can, innovate, that can buy you back your time and make your life easier. Routine workers are the people that you give them the task and they kind of do that task, they follow it, that's all they do. Team overhead should be max 10% of your revenue. Let's say you're doing $1 million a month, it shouldn't be more than $100,000 a month in overhead, and ideally much lower than that. If you're 3-5%, it's great. The lower that number, the better. Each person that you hire must directly either buy back your time or bring at least 5x the profit of what you're paying them on an annual basis, or save 5x the profit. So if you're paying the person $50,000 a year, they should save you or make you at least $250,000 a year, or buy back your time. And ideally, the best people, they do both. They buy back your time, they make your life easier, and they also make you a lot of money. These are the best hires, and I'll show you exactly how to find these in a second. So, lean also means smaller teams. It's better to have a smaller team of killers than to have a team of just focusing on numbers. There's a lot of people, I have 100 people on my team. Good, how much revenue you do? $3 million a year. Okay, no good. So for the creative team, which what we're focusing on, there's one person that could make it or break it. Can you guess what that person is? Okay. Huh? No. It's no. Okay. I want to make a surprise for you guys. Okay. Yeah, it's creative strategists. Creative strategists is like a domino piece. I mean, we only hired creative strategists recently. And, you know, it's a game changer. It's a person that takes ownership of, you know, all of the creative process, you know, from initial inspiration, from idea to actual execution, you know, sourcing all of the content, putting all the ads together, getting those ads tested, creating variations, and just like managing that whole cycle and just doing it again and again and again. And now many of you guys have started your businesses as creative strategists. Who here started by like looking at ads and making ads? Who here started their business that way? Like, many of you guys, you are creative strategists, but if you want to grow the business, you have to replace yourself. Like, there's no other way. So, who here has a creative strategist on their team, but they're not 10 out of 10? All right, so quite a few people, right? They're kind of like okay, but you know, there's, you know, you want them to become better. And who here tried to hire as creative strategists, but they sucked? Right. Yeah. So, happens all the time. I'll show you how to avoid that in a second here. So, creative strategist is the single most important role in your business, no matter what scale you're at. Because again, it's not about the product, it's about the perception of your product. And perception of your product comes down to the creatives. So, team structure that you need for different levels of scale. Initially, it's creative strategist, media buyer, and might need video editor if you're using video ads. With this scale, you can do 100, 300K a month in revenue. Now, you can do more, you can do less, right? But this is usually the range that I see. As you're scaling 300 to 600K a month in revenue, you'd add creative coordinator. You might add copywriter. You might add some extra video editors. As you are scaling from 600 to 1 million a month, it's creative coordinator, copywriter, video editors, media buyer. As you go from 1 million to $3 million a month in revenue, you might add more video editors. You might also promote some of your video editors into senior video editors. And you also might promote some of your copywriters into like senior copywriter and hire junior copy. So it's kind of like becomes a little bit more complex. And it all obviously depends as well, like how much you want to be involved in your business. You might be writing copy yourself, right? So then you don't need copywriter. But if you want to build a business that runs without you, then this is the structure that you need to build. And then if you want to scale to multiple countries, multiple offers, then you basically replicate this structure for each one of these countries or offers. So when hiring your creative strategist, your goal should not be just to hire the right person, but also to be absolutely sure that you don't hire the wrong one. So it's kind of like reverse hiring, right? This is how we think about it. And this means interviewing more people and selecting more carefully who you bring on board, because this is such a crucial role, right? That you want to pay so much attention to. This role can change everything in your business, but only if you bring on the right kind of person. But Alex, you know, I don't want to waste time interviewing people. I jump on these last 10 interviews and they all suck. Well, number one, you can, Mark will share with you some tips on that. On how to make it more efficiently. But also, I mean, would you rather prefer to just like shortcutting time on that side, but then bringing that person on board and then having the wrong person on board, training them for the next few months, and then the person leaves or quits or they just suck and you fire them? Anyone had this happen before? Like the person like just sticks and they're not good fit few months in, like you're just like, hey, sorry. Yeah, so that's your choice that you have to make. And it's better to front load that time and hire the right person in the first place. And Jeff Bezos, he built, you know, like little business. And he said, I would rather interview 50 people and not hire anyone, right? Which means what? Let's say 30 minutes interview, spending 25 hours. He's okay with that, but not hiring the wrong person, than to hire the wrong person and then training them for the next 3 months. And then that person sucks. And you didn't spend 25 hours, you spent 250 hours. So which one would you choose? Because wrong people will cost you money, they'll cost you time, they'll cost you energy, and they'll also cost you the love for your business. Like, you ever had this person on your team where like, oh, I have to talk to this person again, right? Oh, they suck. But it's like maybe I fire them, but no, not today, maybe tomorrow. So, yeah, it happens all the time. But it's like, that's what we got in the business to work with people we enjoy working with. And the only way that you can fulfill your full potential and be the best entrepreneur you can be is when you actually enjoying it. Right? So, and you know, when it comes to all like creative strategies, they're not all created equal. You know, there's like different levels to them. Number one is a C player. This is the person that you tell them to do something and they don't do it on time. They're not responsive. They're like ruining your culture. Those people you just fire. Just get rid of them. Boom, cut it. Bye-bye. There's B players. These are the people that can maintain your business on a certain level. They're great. You know, they do what you tell them to do, but they're not bringing new ideas. They're not improving the process. They're not improving the workflows. You can push them to A level by bringing them like coaching, by buying like consulting for them, by mentoring them. You can push them, right, and challenge them and help them become A players. That's what I failed to do was that hire that I had. I didn't push him to become A player, and which he could have been. But sometimes you push them and push them and train them and coach them and mentor them, and they're still not evolving. Then unfortunately you have to replace them. Then A players. So these are the people that these are great people, right? They take ownership of the department. They take ownership of the whole process. They evolve, they learning, they follow, other people, they're testing different things, they're improving the workflows, they maintaining and growing your business, and they buy back a lot of your time. And there's also drivers, like JP mentioned. Drivers are the people that are kind of like entrepreneurs inside of your business. These people that literally, if those people would have left today your business, they could go ahead and start their own business and be very successful at it. Who here has drivers on their team? Awesome. So drivers are amazing. These people you nourish, you incentivize. If it makes sense, even partner with them because they're the same as you. Like, because you are a driver. If you started your business, you are a driver. So basically they're kind of like replica of yourself, people that take ownership and responsibility. So, and here's how, so these, I just explained how all of these will reflect in your business. These will just give you totally different results. Like it's just like not even close, like what these different levels of creative. So even like if someone has creative strategies in their LinkedIn bio, it doesn't mean shit. So it's still, you have to filter out. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So we follow in our company, it's called make them quit process. Throughout the recruiting, throughout the hiring, throughout the onboarding, we want to create challenging situations when wrong people just want to quit, right? And the way we do it is, we just ask them a lot of questions. We give them feedback. We see how fast they evolve. We give them another feedback, and and we see how fast they react, how fast they adapt, and we put a lot of pressure on them. And some people will just not handle it. Some people will just, probably this is not for me. I was looking for 9 to 5, and it seems it's like 9 to 9 or 9 to 11, and I'm not ready for it. So, but by doing this, if you push people hard, you will just eliminate them early. And it's better to have them quit early than to keep them for a long time and waste a lot of your energy and effort. And so you must show them that this is a high pressure environment because we're all like small businesses, like in a big scheme of things, like Fortune 500 companies, huge companies, they can afford to be slow and lousy. We can't. We cannot. We have to move fast. We have to innovate. We have to evolve. We have to grow. We have to be profitable. Right? That's the business we're in. And so it's better to have that person quit than to keep them and waste months of years of your time. So one of the things that's super important in hiring process is a scorecard. So this is a scorecard for creative strategies. By the way, I have lots of these resources here. You guys, you can take screenshots, but also we'll have them during the break. Just go to our team on the back. They'll share with you links to all of these resources, the scorecard, job descriptions, like all of this stuff. So scorecard for creative strategies, like there's different criteria that you want to list out there, like a strategy at creative performance, a creative turnaround, tasking pipeline, talent acquisition, UGC, creator management. So for each one of these, you would have a KPI. I will share with you this document. You can adjust it for your business. So you would have the KPI for each one of these for these criteria. So let's say it was UGC, creator management. You want them to maintain at least 33% win rate on the creators. So if they're testing 3 different creators, at least one of them should be high performing creators. So they have to choose creators carefully. And that's kind of the KPI that you would monitor their performance on. And if you don't have a scorecard, it's very hard to say whether the person does a good job or a bad job. That's the purpose of the scorecard. Now, raise your hand if you have clear scorecards for every new role that you bring into your business. Right? Only a few people, right? That is a problem, right? You need to have those. A hiring process. So once you have the scorecard, it makes like, okay, I'm looking exactly for this person that can help me to take my business from A to B. These are the requirements that I'm looking for. But at the same time, you have to show them what you can do for them. What's in it for me? And most entrepreneurs ignore this. So, the job description, I'll share with you. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah. So this is the job description. So it's not just about compensation. People are like, oh, it's like, but I'm paying this person $100,000 a year and they still suck. Well, I mean, maybe it's like they joined your company just because of money, but real A players, they're not joining companies just because of the compensation structure. They join companies because of growth, because of challenging projects, because of they can work with other A players, because they can surround themselves and work on something that's super exciting. And you have to sell it. It's like a VSL. It's like long form sales ladder. You have to sell the fuck out of the position that you're hiring for. So, and by the way, you just taught me that. Shout out to you just. So, when hiring, one of the important things that most people, they focus on who they work for. Oh, this person worked for this like 9-figure brand. Like, well, I mean, are you hiring people to inflate your ego, or are you hiring people to buy back more time and make more money? Because not everyone who works in like very successful companies is actually a player. Like, do you think like Amazon, Apple, Google, do you think they have like B players and C players, or everyone is like pure like A players? What do you think? Yeah. Some people there suck too, right? And so just purely by the fact that they have this in their job description, that they work in this company, it doesn't mean anything. Right? It's more about their attitude. And also, I mean, we're in an industry that changes like every fucking month. Like, there's new things, new formats. Like, with creatives, like what worked 3 months ago doesn't work today. And so they have to be adaptive, coachable. They have to be able to like learn and apply new things. And these are the people. Sometimes, young people with no experience can learn and adapt and become like total savages. And we've hired a lot of these great people to our team. And they're much better than someone who's been doing this for 20 years and supposedly has a lot of experience and a lot of track record. So you need to focus more on who they are, more than where they worked or what they accomplished. So it helps a lot. Sometimes there's like amazing talent in these companies, but this is not the only factor. You want to see whether they will adapt to specifically your business, whether they'll be able also, if they worked in a company, let's say you're doing $10 million a year, and they come from the company that did $100 million a year, now they'll have to get hands-on, because you don't have all the systems, all the processes in place. They'll have to get hands-on. In that other company, they might have just like getting reports from other people, managing a big team, and they're not hands-on. They have no idea, what's working, and they're not as attached to, the current situation of your space. But even the most skilled, like even if you had this, like the most skilled person, like that joins your business, even that person can fuck up your business big time. You want to know how? Culture. So this is a ladder from Airbnb founders. So 2013, they had a conversation with Peter Thiel, who was the first investor in Facebook. And they asked him, what is the most important advice you can give us? That Airbnb at that point was like scaling up, they're hiring thousands of people. It's like, what is the most important piece of advice you can give us? And he's like, just don't fuck up the culture. And because this company grow, like it's important to maintain the culture. Usually culture gets worse as companies grow and become more corporate. So when it comes to culture, the important things to keep in mind are, like, if you bring that person, are they collaborating with other people, right? Are they bringing value? Are they growth oriented? Are they responding fast? You message them, like, they respond within like 8 hours. Like, that person is no good, because let's say the other 3 people working with that person, and they're expecting something from that person, so that person might hold back the whole team. And so now that person becomes a bottleneck, and you just, you need to address it, give them feedback. If they're not adapting, just get rid of them as soon as you can. So once you know exactly what you're looking for, it's time to hunt. So the biggest mistake, hiring mistake, is just settling for at least bad candidate due to small talent pool. A strong talent pool ideally should have at least 100 candidates before screening begins. And this will just give you like more options to hire the right person rather than hiring out of necessity. Let's say you have 5 candidates for the role and they all suck, but one of them just like sucks less. He's kind of like average. He's not the best, but it's like he's not as bad as the other guys. And you're deciding to hire that person. Like, you just hired out of necessity. It's like that person, like, yeah, and sometimes, like most of the times, your gut feeling will tell you. Gut feeling doesn't lie. Like, it's like something's wrong with this person, but I need to hire this person. It's like everything is like breaking, like I need to hire. And that's usually where, you'd spend next few months just wasting your time and energy. So when it comes to attracting candidates, there are different ways you can do it. LinkedIn ads work very well for us. There's some amazing candidates there. Job platforms. You have freelance platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. Obviously, there's a lot of filtering that has to be done. A lot of people there are freelancers. They prefer to work on multiple projects. It's more difficult for them to commit to a single company. And that's you basically sourcing candidates from all of these platforms. You sending them to the same forum. You're pre-filtering them, and then for the best candidates, you're setting up the interview process. Then outbound hiring, headhunting, and referrals. So this is when you know exactly, I need to get this person because this person, I've seen their evolution. I know they're good. They're in company that's kind of similar to mine. You're reaching out to them and trying to set up the interviews. That can work very well, pretty much like poaching people from other companies. One of the best approaches ever. Then also referrals from team members. Usually A players know other A players. So if you have a driver on your team and you need to hire someone, hey, Johnny, do you know anyone, kind of like that's maybe looking for this role, or maybe someone who's young but can like learn very fast, and because we're placing for this role. And on our team, we actually placed a lot of people this way, and we hired some amazing talent with, just by asking for referrals. Then social media networking. If you have a personal brand, it helps a lot. Like we've hired some amazing people just because they wanted to work with us. So it's not absolutely mandatory, but it helps a lot. So you did all of that. You just hired that amazing person. And by the way, like there is a very extensive like hiring process. I'll share all those documents like in one place. So our team on the back during the break, just come to them and they'll share it with you. So congratulations. You just hired that rock star. Is it time to celebrate? It's like, you found that killer. It's not time to celebrate. Right? The job just begins when you brought them on board. Because if you don't onboard them properly, they will fail. One of my biggest mistakes, and mistakes I see that a lot of entrepreneurs do, is that when they bring new talent, when they bring new people, they just like throw them in the water and they see if they can swim. It's like there's no process. Like, hey, here's the accesses. Here's what we need to do. Okay, bye-bye. I'm going to Bali for a month. So, like, that's not the way to properly, ensure, because at the end of the day, you want to ensure that person succeeds, because if they succeed, you succeed. They're working for your business. And, you want to give them all the resources, and, the better you can structure it, I'll show you in a second, like the whole kind of like onboarding process. The better it will, you'll basically ensure the maximum potential success rate of that hire. Hiring the right people, but with wrong training and systems, is just recipe for disaster. So during onboarding, you want to send them through hell months. That's how we call it on our team. It's called the hell months, right? That's part of our make them quit process. It's very challenging, right? We're jumping on calls. Like, let's say we're hiring someone junior. Like every day there's like 3-4 hour call to basically get them like up to speed and just like train them, give them feedback. It's very intense. And some people will quit just from that. But that's what we want, right? We want strong people to quit. So this is, I will not go through all of these. Again, all these resources will be available during the break from our team. But this is the process that's structured day by day, what they have to do in order to get onboarded properly. Now, who here has an onboarding process like this for every role in your company? All right, so only a few people. Rest of you guys, you definitely need to do it, especially for key roles like creative strategists who will like pretty much can build your whole creative team for you. Now, have you ever heard of bamboo? Bamboo, like tree? Yeah? Okay, so bamboo is the fastest growing like tree on earth. And it grows like when it's when it's growing, it can grow up to like 91 centimeters in a single day. Imagine, like 91 in a single day. But it can only do that in a perfect environment, perfect humidity, perfect climate zone, like perfect, everything is set up perfectly. So you want to create that perfect environment for your people, specifically for creative strategists. And the way you do this is by giving them the training, resources, and challenging them to become a better version of themselves. Because if they don't grow on your team, they'll find another team where they can grow. Like if they're A players, they want to grow. They know their potential. They know it, right? And they will either fulfill it with you or with someone else, or by themselves, by opening their own business. So this is the structure for ongoing like development. Like this is why most companies struggle, I believe, because they don't have the ongoing development plan and they don't reinvest into making their team members better. So this is the structure for like ongoing growth for creative strategies, courses and workshops, books, industry networking, buying them consulting calls, expert calls, putting them in masterminds, putting them together with other creative strategists. They can learn and they can become better. They can see that there's levels to the game, because if they see that there's levels, they're open to grow and evolve, which again will make your company more successful, and they'll take more and more ownership, will buy back your time, and it will be awesome. So this is the process for just one role. Again, all these documents will be available there with our team. But the one that has the most impact on the growth of your business, because if you're starting as a creative strategist basically in your business, like, and you just pass that like responsibility, you buy so much back of your time that you can do some very, very, very amazing things. And I remember like when I was starting out my business, like I was managing ads, I was building funnel, I was doing everything by myself, and me and my beautiful wife, we would go on a trip and we would drive. And as we were driving, like every few miles or kilometers for you guys in Europe, like I would stop because I had to optimize my ads. And if that's how you operate right now, I know exactly how it feels. And at night, would come to the hotel and I would open my laptop. It's like I would build funnels until 3 a.m. in the morning. And that was vacation, right? So there was no real vacation. It's like, it's workcation. Few years later, like last year, as I started working on this and placing the right people, and becoming better at this, last year we were traveling, for a month. We were in Switzerland, and few days there, like, we were in a place where there was no internet whatsoever. And we're like in the middle of the mountains, like there's no internet connection. And, I was disconnected from this. I didn't know how business is doing. And then I come back where the internet is present. I call my creative strategist, how is business? Send me the numbers. And he sends me the numbers. We actually had the best week we've ever had. And I wasn't involved in any of that. And I'm like, God. And my creative strategist is like, we had we had a few challenges here and there, but we kind of like, you were not there, so we couldn't ask you, so we kind of figured it out. And it's like, you know what, Alex, like, I think you should go on vacation more often. So that's what you want to achieve eventually. There's levels of the game. I see so many levels that I can grow personally, and I inspire you guys to become better at this, because once you crack this skill, it will absolutely change your life and will make your life more enjoyable, and will give you more freedom, which is in the first place why we got into the business. We got into business to have freedom. Some people want to work 2 hours a day, some people are maniacs and want to work 16 hours a day, but you set up a business on your own terms, and that's why we do it. And I want to end you with this: you're just one hire away. Thank you, guys.